Welcome to GOS Media. I'm Savannah Paxton. It was the worst winter of the century in the frozen tundra of northern Alaska. The Eskimos living in the land began to worry about how long the cold weather might linger. Usually they survived by hunting seals, eating the meat, and burning the fat for heat and cooking. This winter, they would need more meat and heat than the seals could provide. The men of the tribe knew there was only one way to survive: start hunting the wolves. The wolves had more meat than seals, their hides made warm blankets, and the excess fur was used to make hats, gloves, and shoes. Yes, the men knew they had to hunt wolves, but none of them really wanted to do it. Not because it was hard work, but truth be told, because they were afraid. Every one of them had hunted wolves, but never in the dead of winter, where the wolves had a greater advantage. Wolves have a keen sense of sight, hearing, and smell. While the Eskimos would be bundled up and moving slowly through the wind-blown snow, they'd be easy picking for the wolves. Fearing the consequences of hunting wolves, the Eskimos convinced themselves it was better to wait and hope the stormy winter weather would soon die down. But it didn't. A week later, winter raged on, and the women and children were near suffering. It grieved the men to see their wives shivering and the children eating bare minimum, so they devised a new way to hunt wolves. The men honed their knife until it had a razor's edge. When a seal was killed, they would coat the blade with blood. After the first coat dried, they painted a second coat, and then a third, and then a fourth, and so on until they created a literal blood popsicle. The men then buried the handle in the ice with the blood popsicle pointing skywards. The wolf's keen sense of smell picks up the scent of blood, and it roams until it finds the Eskimo's bloodsicle. Cautiously, the wolf gives a lick, tasting fresh blood. Instinctively, the wolf licks faster and faster and faster until the exposed edge of the knife nicks the wolf's tongue. Fresh, warm blood now flows down its throat, and though even in pain, it cannot resist its instinct to consume blood. So it licks even faster and faster until its tongue is shredded into ribbons and no longer works. Weak and exhausted from a frenzy of bloodlust, the wolf wanders off until it collapses and slowly bleeds out unto death. The next morning, the Eskimos follow the blood trail straight to the wolf, finding plenty of meat and fur for warm clothing. Yes, the Eskimos were saved from the wintry winter. Regrettably, they could have been saved a week earlier if they hadn't been afraid to hunt the wolves. The Eskimos didn't suddenly grow bold. Remember, it was seeing their families suffering that provoked them to action. You and I aren't too different from the Eskimo. There are many problems in and around our lives that need solving, but we wait until things are about to fall apart before we take action, right? There's a statistic that tells us most people spend 90% of time, energy, and effort cleaning up mistakes, and only 10% in prevention. Said differently, like the Eskimos, we will not take action until we're made uncomfortable. Today's grain of sugar puts it this way: when the pain of the problem outweighs the fear of the solution, change is had. Got a story about using 90% to clean up because you ignored the 10%? Or a situation where you let the pain grow unnecessarily before you made changes? Let the colony know how it worked out in the comments below. On behalf of GOS Media, thanks for stopping by. If you enjoy our videos, then please like, subscribe, and share with others. If you want to support our work, then become a colony member by joining us on Patreon or pick up some merch from our website. Links are pinned below. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Grains of Sugar. I've been your host, Savannah Paxton.